Previously on Grundy and J.
So what they'll do, okay, they'll have these puzzles or brain teasers on Facebook. What they do is they set up these like math questions where there's two correct answers and people fight in the comments over which is the correct answer. But that's the goal of the post to begin with, is to draw that engagement by people fighting over what the correct answer is. If you're savvy enough, you can recognize it for what it is. And it's an obvious scam, right? Someone has monetized this post. But that's why they leave it intentionally vague. That's feminism. There's multiple answers and people fighting over not which one's correct or which one's the best descriptive or prescriptive fucking ordeal. No, it's over which of their philosophies is correct. There are going to be different situations where different philosophies are going to apply correctly. As a result, you have an endless cluster of people fighting over what the definition of feminism is. Well, Vice is laughing on the way to the bank.
And again, it's controversy. It's controversy sells engagement, or controversy triggers engagement, and engagement sells ads. It's the more eyes, the more attention that we have on it. So it's just like we're incentivized to do all the wrong things. This applies to the economy as well. The goal should be to facilitate communication and for people to get along and to connect and to find common ground and, to be able to agree to disagree, to be able to disagree amicably. And this applies, I'm going to make an analogy to the economy. So we have, instead of contributing value, right? Like we have our financial system, which is rigged up to make money. So money becomes this idol because it represents the way to buy all this stuff. But you can set up a money-making scheme which contributes zero value. So you have people like
NFTs.
NFTs. We're incentivized to make money, not to contribute value. So we're not holding our economic growth to the standard of, or our economic benefit to the standard of, does this produce value? Does this make anyone's life better? Right? So this is the same kind of thing that they're doing here. Does this actually... Is this bringing people to the table to have a conversation to get along? No, it's going to further polarize people because they're doing it. They do it to make fucking money.
Well, you got to understand, none of the people here are incentivized to show up and have a discussion. They're incentivized to show up and basically represent their camp or their YouTube following or their Twitter following or whatever.
So my analogy with the economy and business, I mean, it's not even an analogy at all because that's literally what this is.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. Like no one's here to have a discussion. Everyone's here to represent their camps.
Yeah, I was talking about this as if it was like an honest discussion and people trying to understand each other's points of view and trying to come to some higher understanding, listening to each other, coming to a higher understanding, incorporating the different things that they see and hear into each other's worldviews and trying to come out of it a changed person. Obviously, that's me giving it a very charitable interpretation because this is obviously a money-making scam. And ultimately, it's not an analogy at all.
Grifters gonna grift. Like, what are you gonna do, dude?
Anyway, but yeah, it sucks because that's ultimately what's going on here. Is like you just have people who are incentivized to grow their own platforms and make more money, and who are going to continue to pander to their fucking audience, and it's going to further polarize. That's the whole thing. Is it fucking polarizes us? It divides us so much more because people just become more and more. They dig their heels in more and more, and they look for whatever confirms their. Whatever validates their opinion instead of actually trying to understand one another.
Well, we're on that topic. Are you familiar with what happened to Sidney Watson on the way home from this incident? Like on the way home from this discussion on the airplane, she had that thing with the fat people on the airplane. Like no. That's when this happened, when that was recorded. No? All right, we're gonna go. Oh, it's time for a tangent, folks.
Wayne's World.
Yeah. No one's gonna. No, I get it, and you know what? I get it. Swing. Okay. Sid. I don't know how to spell it. Sid.
Sydney
Watson airplane fatties.
It's not politically correct.
Well, as a fatty, I'm allowed to use the term fatty. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, we have a tangent.
Oh my god. That's another fucking reference that no one's going to get.
That's today's theme, is references no one will get but me.
Midnight Society. That's Goosebumps, right?
That's Are You Afraid of the Dark, my friend?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Right.
Yeah.
I think that was only on Canadian television, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, probably. I don't know. It's
I don't think
YTV.
that.
YTV. I recognize all the actors from like other shows on YTV. Sidney Watson.
Right.
I got stuck between fat people on a plane. I called them out.
Oh my God.
For 3.5 hours on October 10th, American Airlines seat 32B was my own personal hell. But truth be told, I never could have guessed how much discussion my experience being sandwiched between two huge people would cause. I boarded my flight from New York to Dallas on a cool Monday evening. Moving patiently down the aisle towards the back of the plane, I saw where I'd be sitting. Immediate panic. At the window was seated an extremely overweight woman. At the aisle, an extremely overweight man. And I, the unfortunate middle seat, was destined to be wedged between them for the entire flight. I spent hours contorting my body to fit into an already narrow space made narrower by my obese roommates. Touched without my consent, my shoulders were forced forward, my legs pressed unnaturally together. My personal space was so limited that I could not move my arms, lower armrests, or tray table. For any kind of reprieve, my only option was to lean forward towards the seat in front of me, which was reclined, making my only space even smaller. Twisted this way for hours, my back arched, my hip, on which I had some surgery years ago, throbbed.
My back ached.
Oh, ached, yeah, act. my hip, on which I had surgery some years ago, throbbed, and my distress was palpable. I am under no illusions that flying is always an enjoyable experience. Regardless of seat selection, there is always the risk of being beside a fellow passenger who can make the hours spent together completely miserable. Most of the time, the discomfort isn't enough to warrant complaint. But this time it was. Besides a few pitying looks from the flight crew and other passengers, there was little that could be done to ameliorate the situation. My flight was full.
Damn.
There was nowhere to go. But my rage really ignited when I asked my aisle roommate if he'd like to swap seats. After all, the woman to my left was his sister. He declined. Terrific. Finding my situation intolerable, I did what a good millennial would do. I took to Twitter.
Oh Lord. Oh, there's pictures.
Some might argue that it was my civic duty to rage tweet this deeply unpleasant experience and its play-by-play, and I did. Down to the comments of one especially kind flight attendant who asked me repeatedly if I need anything.
Air.
I am currently literally wedged between two obese people on my flight. This is absolutely not acceptable. Okay, if fat people want to be fat, fine, but
Your arm rolls. Oh my God.
I got stuck between you with your arm rolls on my body for 3 hours. Okay, I'm just throwing this out there. What if you know how in movie theaters they have these seats that there is no possible way, like, that the person next to you could be, like, touching you with their shoulder? You know what I mean? You go to the movies and
IMAX has that, or like, I remember, like, there was, I mean, like, I've been to movie theater, like, the last time I was at a movie theater was a very long time ago.
Yeah. But you understand what I mean. Like, there used to be the theater where it's just a little square seat, but there are theater seats that are like, you have a separator almost that comes out like past the shoulder line, right? To make sure that everyone stays in their own fucking seat. There's like a little thing. If you're fat, if you're fat, you're wedged against yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're not wedged against other people. Why can't we do that on airplanes? So you know what? If you want to be a 700-pound person, get on an airplane, fine. You can be the one squished like this.
I mean, people have to pay for extra weight and baggage, but some people
Why don't we
charge
charge
extra 100, 200 pounds of body weight? I mean, you know, if you're 400 pounds, 450 pounds, you know, are you not like, are you not over consuming, you know, the plane's capacity to carry? Like, people who said that they should pay for 2 seats. There's been many people that say that, like that have said that before. Okay, you want, like, just pay for 2 seats. We can't seat someone comfortably in the seat next to you because of your life choices. Then you should pay for your life choices. Other people shouldn't be forced to pay for that.
We pay for produce by weight. We pay for fuel by volume. We pay for water by volume. why would we not pay for travel by volume, right?
We pay for our luggage by weight. If you go over a certain size, actually volume and weight, because there are ones that have to fit inside of a box, and then there's also if your checked luggage, if your carry-on luggage is too large, if it's over a certain volume, you have to either pay extra or I think you have to just pay. I think you have to check it. Actually, but your checked luggage, if you bring checked luggage and it's over a certain weight, you have to pay a surplus, because that's like ultimately going to consume more fuel, because it's a heavier burden.
I know for a fact on the airplanes that if they have to round, like when they round, like let's say you have something that a suitcase that's 24.4 pounds, they don't round it to 24 pounds, they round it to 25 pounds. They do that so that they're never overweight. You know what I mean? Because they can't be. Because if they're overweight, then the plane falls out of the fucking sky.
But yeah, anyway, this is a whole tangent. I don't know if this is
Well, no, that's why it's a tangent.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this is obviously a topic that's been talked about a lot before. Like this is not an uncommon experience, as as it's gotten to the point where 70% of the population in the Western world is obese. Not
me.
Something that a lot of people
not
have
anymore.
But yeah, they should have to pay. They should have to pay extra for it. I mean, it just seems reasonable. If you can't. The plane should have been considered full before her seat was sold, because those people, they just show up. Oh, I paid for one person. Well, not all people are the same. Not all people are equal, feminists.
Yeah, the thing is, a movie theater, right? You're paying for a seat in a movie theater, and the seat is a flat rate for everyone, regardless of weight. But that movie theater is not moving, and it's not going to fall out of the sky if it's overweight. All right, now the tangent's over. Let's get back to the video. I'm going to go get a coffee.